Hello, I'm gonna do the I am the reader tag. I wasn't tagged, but I just found it and the questions look really interesting, so I'm gonna give it a go. So, question 1. Choose one word that describes being a reader. I don't know, I feel like the word that comes to mind is like knowledgeable, because everyone always says that when you read you learn a lot of stuff, like you get different perspectives on the world, learn new vocabulary and stuff, so you're kind of like knowledgeable. I'm gonna go with knowledgeable. Number 2, what's the very first book you fell in love with? I remember back in primary school, the very first book that I super enjoyed and did not want to put down was Kensuke's Kingdom by Michael Morpurgo. Yeah, that was the first book we had to read for the whole class reading group, and I was really enjoying it, so much so that when I went home I would continue to read it and I was ahead of the class because I liked it so much. So that's the first book I ever remember being so engrossed with that I had to keep going. Number 3, hardback or paperback? I have had this discussion on my channel before and I'm still not 100% sure I know the answer. I think I'll always love a paperback because they're just like easier, although not all the time, because paperbacks do come with their flaws and they are, I guess, harder to hold. Hardbacks are easier to hold, but in my current situation with my current bookshelf, paperbacks have got to win, because like the vast majority of my shelves you can't stand a hardback up in because they're too short, which is very annoying. Oh, I've lost count. Question 4. How has reading shaped your identity? This is a massive question for just a tag. But I guess, like, it shaped it a lot. Like, I was thinking back over this. I've never really thought too much about me as a person and also reading, but it's kind of why I'm where I am in life right now, I guess, because I changed university course 4 weeks into the first year. That's because I wasn't enjoying journalism and I was kind of stressing and not knowing what I could do, and I was like, I enjoy reading, I'll take something Englishy. So I took English and creative writing, and yeah, I think I took that because I'm a reader. I've always enjoyed reading, so I decided to take a whole university course on it, and I guess that university course is gonna lead me somewhere. I don't know where yet, but somewhere. So yeah, I guess it shaped what's going on in my life right now. Oh, I keep losing count and these questions aren't numbered. Why did I do numbers? Question 5. What book do you read when you need to be comforted? I don't think I've had to read a book specifically to comfort myself, but if I were to choose, I think I'd pick like a YA contemporary or something. Something with like a relatable main character or something who has a nice, gentle storyline. Basically, I wouldn't pick something like super stressful, which I seem to be reading a lot of at the moment. Who taught you to be a reader, or did you do it all on your own? School kind of taught me to read because you had to read, it's a requirement. But no, the person who taught me to love books is probably, actually, okay, it's a combination of my parents, because some of my other videos in front of the other bookcase that I'm sometimes in front of in videos, a super full, overflowing bookcase, that's my mum's one. That kind of gives you an idea that my mum loves reading because she's got so many books. And also my dad, he loves reading as well, and his bookcases, he's got, I think it's like maybe 4 full bookcases, and like all of the books on there are super thumbed through, like you can tell they've been read a lot. I don't know, my dad's probably the more persistent one to get me to read the books he enjoys. Every time I see him he's like, have you read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy yet? But also Mr. Smith back in high school, because he was my year 8 teacher for 1 year. I never had him after that, but he had a policy in his class where you had to come with a book, and he spent the first, I'm not sure how long, like 15 minutes or something of his class, he dedicated that to reading. You had to read a book, and I loved that because he was an English teacher who loved books. He didn't just want to supply us with some information that we could regurgitate into an exam. He wanted us to actually enjoy English, so he specifically made a slot for us to read a book. And what really annoyed me though was people in our class like hated it, and I'm like, oh, like, that just upset me, because they would never bring a book and they'd always just grab a dictionary from the back table and read that, and I'm like, you're missing the point here. Mr. Smith is a lovely man who wants us all to read, and he created the Creative Writing Society that like 8 people showed up to, me included. 7. Describe your dream reading lounge. Okay, I have got this planned. I would love, if this is at all possible in my life at any point, I would love a whole room dedicated to books, and I would have all of the walls covered by a bookcase, and like they can be mismatching. Yeah, there'll just be loads and loads and loads of books, and I would have one armchair, and it can be like whatever. I'll find a super comfy armchair with a footrest, and there'll be a little table by it for my drink. I'd like it to be a nice airy room, so it would have a big window. That would be good. Question 8. What book changed the way you act or see the world? I just finished a module called Utopias and Dystopias, and the dystopias definitely made me look at our contemporary society right now, made me a tiny bit scared. But yeah, those kind of books make me kind of change the way I see the world, but particularly Fahrenheit 451, because that one, it's all about like censorship, and how if society keeps like progressing in terms of like technology wise, we'll just end up censoring ourselves in terms of reading. Like society will just stop, and like that censorship is kind of like a censorship of knowledge, and it made me look at the world and get a little bit scared that that can happen, because all the dystopias, they are their comments upon the author's contemporary society, and what's bad in their contemporary society they just make a little bit bigger to highlight there's a problem. Lots of them can still be relevant in today's society, so those make me look at society and see what society's doing. One that changed the way I act, I'm not sure, I don't know, but I don't think I've had a book that made me stop and think about my own behaviour. Maybe I'm not reading the right books. Maybe I need to read a book that will make me do that. If you feel like doing this tag, I don't know how old it is or if everyone's already done it, but if you think the questions are good and you feel like doing it, give it a go. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe and all that stuff, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!